Hey guys, the last big ride of the season, and what a journey it has been. Welcome to my personal highlights of the Kent Classic 2024, organized by the good folks at UKCE, whose sportives I am absolutely obsessed with, as they are spectacularly well organized. So disclaimer, I am not associated with the UKCE, just a massive fan of sportives and recording my rides to share the love of riding, really. So in this video, I'll be guiding you through the scenic yet challenging 110 kilometers long route, starting at Lingfield Park race course and winding through the beautiful but testing hills of Kent and of course East Sussex as well. So if you're considering taking on the Sportive next year, stick around for some hard-won tips, route highlights and lessons learned, and hopefully I get to see you at the starting line next year and a drink with a well-deserved cake up to the finish line. So let's go. So we set off early, just after 8:30 a.m. Having waited 30 minutes for the first wave of riders to go ahead of us for safety. Usually in such events, the first few minutes is when things are about to go wrong. So I'm glad, as you can see here, everyone is taking their time. In fact, I would say most of these riders here are well experienced, because I noticed how this ride progresses from here on for quite a while before we start splitting into different pacing groups. But pretty much everyone around here was quite rounded, so this was really a very good start, and I was really well impressed by everyone. The etiquette, handling skills. It was just a pleasure to ride with so many riders you haven't even ridden before, but you just totally trust them within 5 seconds, just looking at how they were pacing themselves, taking the first turn onto the road. It was just beautiful, really. So the weather was crisp, a cool 8 degrees, perfect for riding, but with enough headwind to keep things interesting, really. This route is an outstanding natural beauty of the Garden of England, so it doesn't disappoint when it comes to views. So rolling hills, misty fields, and quaint village lines line the paths, really, making this route a visual treat. But don't be fooled, these climbs may look gentle on the recording, as you can see right now, but they are tough enough to test your endurance and pacing skills. And if you're ill prepared, as I was, or I discovered I was, actually I knew I was, and I admitted this to some of my fellow riders beforehand as well. But it's a big ride. You're not gonna pull out, but also it's fun, right? You're not getting paid for this. It's not that competitive. Well, it's a sportive, so it's against yourself, really. But it was good to go out there, and I did find my limit. And I must say, I paid for not being well prepared for this ride, to be honest with you. I've ridden many rides this year, and you will think with my experience now I should be fine, but no, I was ill prepared. So it got terribly painful for me after the halfway mark, I must tell you. So lessons learned, and I'll share them with you in a moment, but more on that soon. As you can see on the onboard metrics on the screen, my speed and power are steady earlier on, including cadence as well. Keeping a good pace and aiming to stay just about between 15 to 25-30 minutes ahead of my estimated Strava time, which usually, is far off. Not too sure how Strava calculates the estimated time, really. Maybe something I need to do my homework on. But I've managed to beat it most of the time, and I definitely intended to beat my Strava estimated time for myself in this ride as well. But a few hours into this ride, things took a turn, usually a dreaded turn really, which is usually my cramps when I'm not well prepared for a ride. Not just a ride like this, but even a 30 minutes ride, I can easily get myself in trouble if I'm not well prepared for. Another advice I would like to give is try to understand the segment in any route you're ever doing, by the way. So for example, on screen right now is the there's the segment to the first fit stop, and I actually intended to do an average power here of about 185. I end up doing way more than that. So this allows you to be able to plan where you want to put the effort, in which segments and so forth, depending on how you train or your ride style. So go through the segments and plan accordingly for them as well. That will hugely help you, but also mentally you're breaking down a very long piece of a very long course into smaller manageable chunks as well, which will be quite helpful. So spoiler alert, around 80 kilometers in, and the real challenge actually began for me, wherein both my calves and thighs seized up with such terrible cramps. And all too common problem on endurance rides for me. So for those planning to ride next year, my first tip is prepare your body with enough rest and stretches. A stressful week, lack of sleep, and minimal hydration were my downfall really here. Also, another tip, I usually down a full bottle of 700 ml bottle with electrolytes before the start of a ride, but I missed it this time, and trust me, it could make a difference. It could have made a difference as well. And also, in fairness, keep hydrating all the way through this ride. Make sure you have your electrolytes tabs with you. Every 10 to 15 minutes or so, make sure you have constant water coming into your body with electrolytes to replenish yourself, and don't wait till you're really thirsty before you start drinking. That can also lead to cause problems for you really. There are a lot of in this particular route, the long, there are 2 feed stations, and usually with the UKCE they're quite good with their sponsorship, so there will be lots of water at the feed station. And also you will find a drum with a tap that will be supplying you with water that already has electrolytes on it. So check ahead of the events as well for the brands and so forth, just in case you don't want to surprise yourself as well with the brand of electrolyte that you're probably not used to. So that's just one cautionary point I would like to raise there. But also, they're super light, reasonably cheap for the benefits they provide as well. So it will cause no harm to have your own specific brand with you as well, just in case to keep things safe, right? So this sort of rides, you really do not want to take something new that your body is not used to really, all right? So one of the route's most stunning views is the Borough Beach Reservoir, which we reach after navigating some really punchy climbs through this ride. Really breathtaking. And so despite what I was going through, I just couldn't help but pause to take in some of the scenery and let the guys go ahead really. The high wheel truly lives up to its name, with wild untamed landscapes and sweeping views of Kent's rolling countryside. I mean, This part of the route reminds you why you really come out to ride short rides, right? It's not just about the bike, the speed, the power you maintain and so forth. It's also the views, right? It's going through those countryside country lanes, especially around autumn right now. I mean, look at this right now. The sun was just splashing through the trees here, right? And the trees changing colors as well. The leaves, falling off with different gradients of green, yellow, orange, and so forth. It's absolutely superb. I mean, doesn't matter if you're riding or even hiking right now, right? It was just a beautiful morning, to be honest with you. And historically, these rides are a lot more colder at this time of the season, and if you go through the UKCE website, for example, of previous rides, you will see everyone has like many layers going on already. At this point in time, I was already baking, by the way, so I had to take some layers off, but even then it was too late because it was really, really hot. That glove that I currently have on as well, I'm super uncomfortable with it right now, but it's pretty much almost like my towel at the same time because I was a little bit damp on the nose, should I say. So I was using it to really just keep my face dry for a little bit, but eventually this comes off as well. The final 30 kilometers were a real mental battle on this ride, I must say. You will have just come off from the final feed station, and obviously, it's one of those you need to be really careful of. You really do not want to spend too much time at a feed station because your body just get cold. But also for safety reasons, really, you don't want a lot of people there. So you should just be going in there, use the bathrooms, refresh yourself, and out. And that's essentially what a few of us did as well. But then, after that pit stop, which was just over the 70 kilometers mark, and then you get to the 80 kilometers mark, and then after that there's a gradual ascent, and then eventually you hit the final major climb of the day, really. But yeah, the last 30 kilometers, my heart rate was low, I couldn't get it high, power was low, cadence was just as low as well. The cramps were just eating me up. I had to stop almost every 2 to 3 kilometers just to stretch things out. At this phase, it was either a recovery vehicle or find my way to the next train station, really, and return back to the start and get a car back down to Dover. But it was all about finishing, right? So it was less about speed, more about resilience. And if I could give one last tip for tackling a sportive like this, it will be to pace yourself as well, right? Respect your limits, really, and if you're aiming for a faster than usual finish, still listen to your body. And I think I got the Harley hint around the 50k mark that cramps were coming, and I thought I could just shake them off. But listen to your body. It could be many other things as well when you're doing short endurance rides, right? This sort of view upcoming right now, where in the trees pretty much tunneling you in, is one of my best ride highlights, really. I get this all the time riding in around Dover, Folkestone. It's just beautiful when you're going through contour lanes when the trees are just hugging the road. It's just beautiful. Look at that. So now we're 43 kilometers in, so we are now heading for the second fit stop. So we've decided to go ahead and not stop at the first fit stop. We've already planned ourselves in terms of fuel, there's water, hydration, in terms of electrolytes, all planned in already, so that we get to the second fit stop instead of stopping and wasting time on the first one. So between here to the next one is 35 kilometers, and the elevation difference is 195 according to Strava, but it will be more than that actually. You can see those three peaks there, looks like four, but the three last ones mainly, that's just absolutely brilliant. So those are actually rolling hills that just keep biting and biting, and they're going for a while. It's a proper endurance climb test before you get to the final summit, which comes after the second feed. I suppose this is probably where I lost all my electrolytes, and perhaps something else went wrong, where I started building up the cramps on the third peak that you could see there earlier in the map. So I would say, generally pace yourself through this as well. It depends what was your strategy. And the first, from start to the first fit stop, it was there where you wanted to warm up, and then this middle bit here. So I just got myself distracted there. So you can see that little car there just pull out of nowhere without even checking the mirror. There's an old gentleman in there. I say gentleman. Yes, with a passenger actually, just pull out of nowhere, and the best they could do is actually howl swear words at all the cyclists that were going past and blowing their horns unnecessarily, even though they were clearly on the wrong here, by pulling out without checking their mirrors. It's absolute shambles. As they proceeded, they continued to scream at everyone and shout and swear at every cyclist they go past. And they were actually accelerated to overtake us in a very tight road. But also this goes to say, right, be careful out there. Not everyone will have the patience or respect for cyclists or any other road user really, and to some extent in most areas. Also, unfortunately, no one expects to see a cyclist. So be careful, be seen, and take your time. Respect other road users, even if you're being honked at. Still be respectful. You never know what sort of day someone is having, or what sort of meeting or conversation someone has just had. Or having in a particular car. So please take your time out there and focus on the road. So focus on your ride and be safe. All right. Now this is Perhaps one of my favorite parts of this ride. We're now at the 45-kilometer mark, so now we have the little mini climbs before we actually get into those three peaks that we have to go through before we get to the second feed station. So you'll see power is just around 250 to 300 at some point here, but now the actual brutal part starts at 48 kilometers. So that's slope 7, 8, 90% gradients, and this usually will go all the way up at some point actually at about 12% slope. So it varies, but it can be quite steep. But then at the same time, with views like this, really, does the slope percentage really doesn't matter much? Not really. Just take your time and go through it. In your own capability, really. It's just wonderful, just beautiful. And if you happen to be out there in such a glorious day, then come on. The slope should not be much of a problem for you, and you should be able to smash through this very well. And just one thing I would say is try to keep your cadence better than what I'm doing right now. I'm pumping out too much power. I should actually have that cadence a lot more higher than 77 or 70. So I should be looking really here at 80, 85, really, to be honest with you. I think so. I suspect probably all of this also contributed to me having cramp because I was just going through too much. The gears were probably just too heavy at this phase, and I should have been using a lot more lighter gears. So now okay, that's where I should really be now, at 91 cadence here, going through the hills, and just have it as easy gears as you can, really. So I've just realized that, it seems, and I was adjusting my gears accordingly for the hills. So yeah, one tip definitely, always have the right gear on, especially on a climb. So too, even on the flat as well, and try to go easy on the gears. But at this phase now, I can definitely feel a cramp coming up. But then at this phase, I felt as if I could just shake it off, really. So I was still pushing power through, and as much as I can, and yeah, it's just wonderful. So I'll pause there and just let the video speak for itself. Counter. as you can see, we're now at the peak of really the first challenge of the day, the real proper climb. And this one is by no means a joke, so it was time for some celebration after that one. And right now we started the second proper climb. So out of those 3 hills I was talking about, so now we're in the middle one. now we're just at the top of that final peak in the middle section, and time now to get to the second pit stop, or the only pit stop we actually stopped at, the group of us. So again, we planned for this, so we were well adequately fed all the way through. We had our energy bars and so forth to bring us to that point. And now we've just left the feed, and this is, I think, about 10 kilometers after the feed. I've separated away from the group I was with already, as I was struggling with cramps. I've stopped a couple of times already trying to shake it off. I did stretch a lot at the feed stop as well, and finish a whole bottle within a minute of getting to within 5 minutes of getting to the feed stop, and then half a bottle before leaving it. So that was about 900 mils of fluid with electrolytes. But yeah, at this phase, I don't think anything else will help. But yeah, it's all about finishing now. So this is quite painful to rewatch again and relive. So I'll pause now and just let you enjoy the moment towards the finish line. But prior to that, I ran out of batteries. But yeah, just to say it was a fantastic ride, regardless of me not being able to finish it in the time that I wanted, or in this body state and condition I wanted. But thankfully I finished it without needing assistance, and actually was able to drive home all the way down to Dover without any issues neither, and I was fine. But yeah, came home and just do as much stretches as I could really, and just take the next couple of days easy. And my recovery ride was 4 days after this ride. Yeah, I needed to give the body as much rest as possible. But yeah, it was an amazing day, and hopefully, fingers crossed, next year will be the same as well. But again, this event comes quite late in the season, so I will have done quite a number of events prior to this, and I will be posting about them as well. I believe the first one I have for 2025 will be the Hotter Hell of the Ash Down. It's one of the most grueling rides you can find around in the UK, well, at least in this part of Southeast. Down in Kent. So this will be in February. Tickets usually sells out within 24 hours. So hopefully I'll be able to secure tickets then. And I hope to see a few of my friends from Folkestone Cycling Club to join me there as well. But all in all, it's been amazing and an amazing day, and I'm super grateful. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it if you do go through with making a booking for this session. But then that said, UKCE organized quite a lot of other sportives, so I'm sure there are alternatives there if you don't want to ride in the cold or don't want to leave it this late. So check out their website, and also those images you can see, they're all from Strava as well, a mix of Strava, a few other platforms. So make use of the platforms, and there are a lot there. Strava is my go-to, and then there are a few others to understand segments properly on your route, so make use of them, and they're there to help you out. Most of them will do free subscriptions, and it can be quite handy. Yeah. And of course, another app I would fully recommend is Velo Viewer. As you can see, I absolutely love it. I use it primarily for post-workout analysis, post-ride analysis. Brilliant. You can go drill down into your performance of the segments, historical as well, and obviously it does super cool summations like this for your whole year outlook. Absolutely highly recommend Velo Viewer. Check them out. think it probably goes without saying right now I'm in pain. I'm not even just sure how I'm able to manage above 200 watts power, but just bear in mind the onboard stats are not truly out of sync with the specific scene you're on. I think it might be plus or minus 50 meters or so, because I've noticed the gradients are not really perfectly matched parts of the road. But anyways, as you can see my expression there, I'm absolutely in pain. Every pedal stroke, it's me navigating through cramps. Standing doesn't help. Actually, standing seems to have made it even worse to most extent, because then it also activates the calves. And that's it, because then you have both thighs and calves in season, so it just makes it super difficult. Even when I need to stop and I need to unclip, it becomes really hard to actually get the twist and bend and kick you actually need to get your leg off the pedals. In many instances I've had to I end up stopping the wrong spot of the road and then back on myself again to find a safe exit to allow other cyclists to go past. Yeah, another tip: if you have to stop, please make sure you're not blocking the way, and make sure you're not stopping somewhere wherein other cyclists will have to swerve towards the road, or anything really that will put other cyclists in danger. Please, if you have to stop, squeeze out of the way, back down onto yourself into a turning out of the road, or into a gate somewhere. But please try to stay out of the road. If you have to stop, it becomes a hazard for everyone, yourself, fellow cyclists, the car overtaking you, and even worse, the oncoming car as well on its rightful lane. It's also put at risk. Here goes one. Here goes another one soon. So at this phase, I'm pretty much up for the takings now. So everyone that have left behind 20-30 minutes ago will eventually catch up with me. So I've just got nothing to give. I can't even respond. At this phase, usually if I'm being conservative, maybe I will stick behind someone's wheel and to give me some well-earned draft, as I have given drafts to others up to this point. But right now I have nothing to give, so I can't catch up with anyone, regardless of the pace. They go past me, that's it, it's gone. But yes, this is what it is. So hopefully next season I will be well prepared for this and able to keep that that pace and that distance with me to the end. At this phase, I must admit, I just can't push any more power out. My legs are absolutely, cramped out right now. The calves, the thighs, I literally can't move anything right now. So this is literally it now. I'm burning out. I've tried different positions on the bike, nothing works. I've stopped lots of time to stretch things out, nothing worked. At this phase, I've finished just about 4 bottles of 7 mils with electrolytes. I suppose probably the electrolytes do not really have the right combination of minerals as well to refuel me properly. Something that I'm going to research on. I've already received a few recommendations on this already from some of my guys at the Folkestone Cycling Club, which I will look into. But at this phase, that's just it. It's been a struggle throughout the ride. I'm not even sweating anymore. I'm struggling to get past 150 watts of power. And yeah, at this phase, my leg is actually stuck. I've tried to unclip at this point now, but it's just not happening. So I'll just let you watch the drama in a very dramatic edit as well. Cool. Watching, and if you're inspired to join in next year, you can go ahead and register now. Hopefully I get to catch you on the starting line or after the finish line for a well-deserved pizza, of course. Make sure to like and subscribe for more tips on cycling, sportives and endurance challenges like this and few others to come. So see you on the road. Keep pedaling.